Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. It's Mondays with Mallory with KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's John Mallory. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Johnny Ballgame and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you here at Bronco Nation News Live on the social media channels of Bronco Nation News and 95.3 The Ticket. That is John Mallory, host of Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays 3 to 6. Sorry for the delayed start. Johnny, some folks didn't get the memo. There's some unhappy folks in the comments section this morning that we're starting late. There was no technical difficulties. We're not blaming anybody. I had to take the kids to soccer camp this morning with Jim Thomas and the women's soccer team down there. So we pushed it back to 9:30. And I put it on social media last night. If you didn't get the memo for the late start, I apologize. But, Johnny, thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Let's have some fun today. And, man, your kids, man, if it's not baseball camp this week, it's soccer camp next week. It's fun being a kid, having a busy summer, huh, man?
Not as fun as a working parent getting them to these camps and stuff, but
yeah.
We make it all work, and we're excited about this week, Johnny. It's a fun week. We're going to make a cool announcement here shortly. We have an even bigger announcement coming, 2 announcements coming next week, but we are essentially 1 week out from Mountain West Media Days in Las Vegas, Johnny. We will be heading down to a week from tomorrow for Mountain West Media Days at the Circa Resort and Casino. Today, we will unveil number 5 on our list of the 5 most important players this week. We started at 25. We're down to 5, and we'll go 5 today all the way down to number 1 on Friday. We had a fun exercise on Idaho Sports Talk with you and Prater on Friday, unveiling our 5 through 1. I've never been more motivated for a player to do well than George Solani, because you guys are sleeping on him, I think, this year. But we'll talk about him later this week when we get to him. But we'll get to number 5 today in terms of the 25 most important players for the football team in 2023. I mentioned Media Days tomorrow. It's crazy, man. We're pretty much here. I don't know. You got the ballot, I assume. Now that you're a registered media member going to Media Days, I believe you were included, correct, on the preseason voting for the All Mountain West team. Did you get a ballot?
I have not checked my email yet, BJ. I need to do that. When was that sent? Over the weekend?
I believe it was sent like Friday night. Yeah.
Okay, let me give that a check. I'd hope so. Yeah, sure.
I think anybody that goes to Media Days gets to vote. So the preseason team, the preseason poll, all that good stuff is out. But I do want to start with a cool announcement, Johnny. This is basketball related. I've been kind of teasing and telling people that we have a lot of big time announcements coming. I would say by far this is the smallest announcement of the 3. The other 2 are much bigger. So when you hear this and you say, oh, that's the announcement, don't worry. The 2 coming next week are much, much bigger. But I'm excited about this. Late July, early August, I want to officially announce. I think we've kind of joked about it or talked about it, but thanks to RBC Wealth Management, Atkinson's Mirror and Glass, and Bousher Real Estate, Bronco Nation News will be traveling to Canada. I'll be heading up to the Broncos foreign trip against Trinity Western, Fraser Valley, and Thompson Rivers And we'll have pre and post game shows, live pre-game shows, live post-game shows on location from Canada for all 3 of the basketball games. So if you're a basketball fan, all the newcomers, Cam Martin, Omar Stanley, Roddy Anderson, you're going to get to see highlights of these games. You're going to get to see interviews. My goal, Johnny, on this trip is to get one interview with every player on the roster at some point, either on the pregame show, the postgame show, or one of our morning shows, where you're going to get to know the players, the coaching staff. We're going to have highlights. I'm even trying, Johnny, if I convince Coach Rice to do it, to let me stream maybe a 4 or 5 minute block of one of the games to show a live footage of the game, or maybe do some sort of radio broadcast with a graphic on the screen for part of one. We'll see, but a lot of cool coverage plans, moving forward. But I just wanted to make it public. And again, RBC Wealth Management, Atkinson's Mirror and Glass, Bousher Real Estate, making this possible. BNN, Johnny, heading up to Canada in a couple weeks.
That's really cool, man. Going to be nice that you guys are covering an event like this. These events typically don't get covered, but there's not a lot of places like BNN out there, BJ, who make it a point and make it their mission, as you do, to cover stuff like this. Now, I've never heard of Trinity Western. I hope I never have to read or hear about Thompson Rivers College again. But for a quick 40-minute period on the clock, I think Boise State's going to look pretty good against these 3 teams. But that's not really why you're going. I think you want to I want to see these guys play together for the first time, right? I want to see this new unit hopefully gel. High expectations for this team next season on the hardwood, BJ. Maybe even higher expectations than these last couple years, and they resulted in this team going to the tournament. So I like that you're covering this event. It's going to be that last bit in this town before football season begins, BJ. So excited for you to be able to go up there and do it. You'll love Vancouver.
Yeah, never been there before. Made one trip to Canada. Went to like Niagara Falls and then the north side of that. And I think I went to Toronto when I was a little kid. Don't remember it much, but looking forward to it. And again, we'll be treating these 3 games just like regular season games. Live pregame shows. You'll see warm-ups, live postgame shows. Coach Rice, players will join us live on the postgame shows. And again, working on some other cool stuff during the week. We'll have our morning shows from the team hotel there in Canada. So hoping we can get some players, coaches on for that as well. We'll have highlights from the games. And like I said, who knows if we can make it happen or not. I don't think Coach Rice wants a full game, Johnny. Coaches are a little paranoid about teams having game film and things like that, but maybe we can talk them into one, 4-minute media timeout segment or something just to give fans a little bit of live coverage from one of these games. So we'll work on that. And again, we have a couple of new sponsors that are helping making this trip possible, Johnny. I do want to thank Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. They've sponsored our golf tournament the last couple of years. Now they're in as a sponsor of BNN. They've been serving the Treasure Valley since 1951, whether it's replacement windows, shower enclosures, mirrors, you name it. Atkinson's family has served the Treasure Valley as the most trusted source of quality glass products and services, from custom glass and mirror, custom frameless shower doors, wood, vinyl, aluminum windows, skylights, sun tunnels. You name it, they strive to provide exceptional experiences for our customers. When you're ready to tackle your special project, just talk to the experts at Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. Again, your Treasure Valley family glass shop since 1951. So we're very appreciative of them for stepping up. And I got to thank Brian King as well. Brian King, RBC Wealth Management, former player, obviously. Investors, disciplined planners, financial advisors, not just one, but they're a team, Johnny. You get not only a highly personalized investment team of professionals, but also the vast resources of a global financial institution. As financial advisors and community leaders, they prioritize the best interest of their clients and hold themselves accountable to accomplishing what is right for you. The team brings a world-class level of financial experience, knowledge, and resources to clients in our community and across the country. Nick Duncan's working for him now, so you can have Nick Duncan help you out with your financial planning. Brian King as well, so we appreciate both of them. And, of course, Matt Bousher. He was the first one that I talked to and convinced him to do this, Johnny. You know he's going to be all about loving the coverage of the basketball team. So thanks to Matt Bousher, Bousher Real Estate, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt Bousher and his team. Check him out, part of the Amherst Madison Real Estate Advisors, BousherRealEstate.com. Check them out. And again, they are the three sponsors of our trip, Johnny. So we are very appreciative of all three of them for making this possible. And we'll be telling you more about them the next couple of weeks as we get set for the trip. So a lot of people are wanting the live stream of the games. We'll see if we can do that. Really cool. This is awesome. So a lot of good comments. We appreciate that. And again, I think this is pretty cool news, Johnny, but the news coming next week is significantly bigger. So don't get your hopes down or think that it's just going to be another kind of smaller announcement like this moving forward. So, looking forward to it. And again, Johnny, I should also mention tomorrow night is episode 3 of the Tyson Degenhart show while we're talking basketball. It's going to be a Meet the Newcomers episode. Omar Stanley and Cam Martin both will be on live together with Tyson Degenhart tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. tomorrow night on the social media channels of Bronco Nation News. Tyson Degenhart interviewing his 2 of his newcomer teammates, Omar Stanley and Cam Martin live. Not going to want to miss that as well. So we're down to number 5, Johnny, on the list of the 25 most important players. And you and I actually agree on this, or at least for the sake of the argument, the list, we agree on this one. We did as we talked about last Friday, Idaho Sports Talk, you, me, and Prater all picked 5 our 5 most important players. And I believe you and I both had the same number 5, Cade Beresford, offensive lineman. We think he's going to move to left tackle this year to replace John Ojukwu. No official word on that. Maybe that's something we'll get next week at Media Days. But you talk about this running game. You talk about the importance of keeping Talon Green on his feet and healthy. There's going to be a lot on this offensive line. And the kind of leader of this group, the veteran, in my opinion, is Cade Beresford, and I think he's a very, very important piece to the team this year.
Yeah, and he's really the only player that's getting a lot of preseason love, from this offensive line, at least when it comes to the first team. I know Ben Dooley is there on a couple of second teams, Phil Steele mainly. But I think Boise State is just hoping that Cade Beresford is the next in a long line of successful left-right tackles at this program, their senior year, being able to take their talents to the NFL. And that's what I think Cade Beresford wants. I know that's what this staff wants. I'm sure that's what Bronco Nation wants, BJ, to be kind of that next Ezra Cleveland, Charles Leno, Reese Odiombo, Darren College, Ryan Clady. I mean, you can go on and on. Matt Hill, Nate Potter. I mean, solid first-team caliber offensive linemen who went on to play in the NFL from this school. And I think they need Cade Beresford to kind of anchor this offensive line, a second-team all-conference guy last year, I believe, BJ. So sky seems to be the limit for Beresford this season. I have high hopes for this offensive line. I think they can be pretty good, BJ. And that starts, I think, with Cade Beresford. So I agree with you. Very important piece to the team for me. You want to have that one, if you will, superstar offensive lineman. And I think for this offensive line, BJ, I think Cade Beresford can be that or the closest thing to it.
I remember last year in the offseason, we were talking to Tim Plow, Johnny, and he said Cade Beresford was probably the biggest offseason acquisition they made. Like the being able to stick him in at right tackle, coming over from Washington State, had some experience. Like you never kind of know what you're getting with some of these transfers sometimes, Johnny, but Cade Beresford came in and solidified that line and started every game, I believe, except one. He sat out the home finale, I believe, to rest up for the Mountain West Championship game. But overall was productive and healthy and was about as good as you could have hoped for as a transfer coming in.
Yeah, he was. Think about that, too. I mean, and you get 2 years out of him, too. Typically, he would have been a one-year guy. He came here knowing he had that COVID year, which is what he is using this year, BJ. And I think it helped, obviously, that he had some Pac-12, some higher-level experience. They do a lot of pass blocking concepts, obviously, up at Wazoo when he played for a lot of the time. I think he was a Leach recruit. Cade Beresford was, and then he went through the Rolovich era, and then that kind of had some mix-up, some quirkiness at coaching up there. But he got it here last year, a very steady performer. And, again, this line returns a lot of experience, BJ. And I think Cade Beresford plays left tackle, but who knows if they want to switch something around there. It feels to me like he's the left tackle. I think that's really the only question left for Beresford, right? Is there going to be some weird situation where they want to keep him at right tackle? Maybe that's the case too, but I think we expect to see him at left.
Yeah, that's kind of the money position along the line, protecting the quarterback's blind side, the left tackles, seemingly where it's been. And you mentioned John Ojukwu and some of the previous left tackles. John Ojukwu not getting drafted last year, going to the Titans as an undrafted free agent, ended a streak of like 6 straight left tackles that had started multiple years that got drafted, going back to Darren College.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the pedigree is there. And obviously this is only his second year, but Boise State's had some pretty talented left tackles going back, 15 plus years. And so he fits into that mold. And you mentioned the line, Johnny. I just think the offensive line is so important this year. And there's some people are out there, right? Like I think Phil Steele does he have a number 2 or something? I mean, there's some really high praise for the offensive line out there. And frankly, I think it's a little bit surprising because I don't think they played super great last year. And then you lose, some key players with KHG at center. Yeah. You lose, obviously Ojukwu and Will Farah, you lost him as well. But I mean, you have Curran, you have, Ben Dooley, you have Beresford. That's 3 veteran guys. You mix in a Mason Randolph, you mix in maybe a Cage Casey. I don't know what they're going to do at that right tackle spot if they do move him over. But for me, how much we're talking about Helani and Genty, like those guys are going to need a little bit of help. And Taylon Green, I mean, he's still a young quarterback. As much as everybody wants to anoint him the Mountain West Player of the Year already, I mean, he's not a polished quarterback by any means, and he's still learning. And you need to keep him healthy and on his feet. So whether it be the running game, whether it be Taylon Green, I just feel like there's the large success of this offense this year is going to rely on the offensive line coming through and having a big year.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. And yeah, you're right. Phil Steele had this as the number 2 offensive line unit in the Mountain West. I believe he has Air Force as the top unit coming back in this league. So, if they get that season, if they end up being one of the best offensive lines in this league, that's going to help. I really do. BJ, I feel really confident this team in league this year. I don't see a lot of other Mountain West teams being able to come up and challenge Boise State on an 8-game in-conference schedule. I think they get out of league 8-0, 7-1. Last year they were 8-1, obviously losing the conference championship. That's the one game you don't want to lose, obviously. But high hopes for this team in the offensive line. A lot of veterans, a lot of guys who played a lot of snaps in this conference and at this level, BJ. 2 spectacular running backs behind him, a quarterback who is spectacular at running the football himself, a bunch of receivers who are ready to make plays. This offense, man, I think they can do some really good things this year. That's certainly the expectation, and people are going to be disappointed if this offense doesn't show out and ball out and be up there in some national categories, BJ, because I think a lot of people look at what's back and they look at what this offense has done in the past. And I think, okay, when Boise State has a lot of guys coming back, usually that's a good thing. So hopefully that will be the case this year under the guidance of new offensive coordinator Bush Hamden. He's got a lot of toys to play with here. This is not a bad. I mean, this is why you take $150,000 pay cuts to take other jobs, right? The talent has to be there in the workroom, and it is here for Bush, BJ.
And Tim Keene is back as offensive line coach, so that certainly helps, I think, with the continuity of the group. And again, Cade Beresford comes in at number 5 on our list of the 25 most important players on the Boise State football team. We'll go 4 tomorrow and then go right down the list to number 1. We can take your questions, your comments, kind of a press conference Monday here, Johnny. We got a few minutes. If folks have a comment or a question you've always wanted to ask John Mallory, whether it's football related or not, get it in the chat right now, and we will get to John Mallory's press conference Monday here in just a minute. We are broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, reminds you they can transform the look of your garage, your back patio, your basement, that ugly-looking concrete slab in one day. The one-day install, it's 5 times stronger than epoxy with their concrete coatings. Check them out, roepaint.com. The anniversary sale is still going on at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com. View their full inventory of vehicles, and as always, they'll make a cash offer on the spot to buy your used vehicle from their appraiser. So, again, lithiafordboise.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, more than 500,000 Idahoans have made the switch to ICCU. You can as well. Check them out, iccu.com, to find a location, a branch near you. And again, the sponsor of the Tyson Degenhart Show, Episode 3, tomorrow night live at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. live on the social media channels, the Tyson Degenhart Show, Episode 3, Cam Martin, Omar Stanley, and it's brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union. And if you're looking for some new Boise State gear for the season, check out the blueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. And if you're in the area, just go check them out. Second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall. They got the new polos, the sideline apparel, the coaches gear, everything. They got you covered at the blueandorangestore.com. Johnny, the comments for you are coming in fast and furious here. Let's see here. They are talking about how to add it helps that the Broncos added some depth in the transfer portal. Let's see. Kate is going to open I-84 right through Husky Stadium. Can't wait. So we'll see about that. Bill's talking about your schedule prediction. We'll roll in conference. It's the non-con games I'm worried about. And Du Bois is asking you for a schedule prediction, man. I guess he means a record prediction. How are you feeling about this team, I guess?
Yeah, I'm thinking 9-3 regular season gets them to the Mountain West Conference Championship. I'll give them 2 losses non-con, 1 loss coming somewhere else. I'll give them a 9-3. All 3 losses could come in non-con. I think they'll get one of those, Memphis or UCF, BJ. I think they'll get San Diego State. We'll see where that comes. It might be 10-2. I really like them in league this year, BJ, but you hate to say just, 10-2. I mean, so many things can happen, as you know, during a season with injuries or just a whole bunch of other drama always seems to occur. You just have that one game where you play like crap. That happens to really good teams. So I'll go 9-3 with a berth in the Mountain West Championship game. You'd think they'd probably be hosting it if that were the case as well, because I don't know if there's another team capable in this league.
Don't forget they got rid of the divisions this year too. So
yeah, no divisions. You take the 2 best teams. Yep.
Yeah, and you like that, I think, right?
I love it. I hated the divisions. Let's get the 2 best teams in conference championships. I want the SEC to get rid of divisions, BJ. I want the best 2 SEC teams playing for the championship every year. I don't know why they still do divisional format. Get your best 2 teams, however you want to come away with getting that, whether it be record, have some tiebreakers in there, because I know they don't play everybody every year, but I would like to see every conference in college football go away with it. Why can't Michigan and Ohio State run it back and play for the conference championship a week after they play in their rivalry game? I don't get why you can't do that. It happens in the pro sports model all the time. Nobody doesn't watch the second game. Oh, these guys played before. Oh, who doesn't want to watch Michigan and Ohio State play football again? I hate that argument sometimes in college football. Give me the best 2 teams, and I'm glad to see the Mountain West is going in that direction for once, BJ.
Bill says, I think Johnny is realistic at 9-3. Nate Staley, 9-3. I'd be very happy with that result. We talked about that schedule in September this summer, Johnny. I mean, it's going to be a brutal start. So we'll know a lot about the direction of this season. I mean, they could very easily be 0-2, but they very easily could end up, 4-1 if they go to San Diego State and win that, and go win at Memphis somehow and pick off UCF at home. I mean, we're all talking about how they could be 1-4. Maybe they're 4-1, man, and they're all of a sudden the group of 5 favorite going into conference play.
That's in play too. I think it might even be more likely that 4-1 is an option rather than 1-4, right, BJ? 1-4 means you're losing to San Diego State too. I don't think they're going to lose that game, BJ. The only thing would be some type of psychological issue where they're so down on themselves. Like, say they get smoked by UW, and then they turn around the next week and they get their butt kicked by UCF. So you're 0-2 and you haven't competed in the first 2 games, getting ready for a 10 a.m. Mountain Time kick against UND.
Bounce back game against North Dakota to get right.
Home opener. I just hope that the fan base doesn't give up if it's a little early. If they're 1-2, if they're 2-2, or whatever the case is, BJ, I would hope the fans in this town wouldn't give up, because I do think they're going to have a lot of success in the Mountain West this year. They got to win it, though. It's hard to imagine Boise State hasn't won a league title since 2019. Yeah. That just feels like way too long ago, I think, for this team in this town. They got to win the title this year.
And then 17, and I think you have to go back to 14s. I mean, they've only got 3, 14, 17, 19, 3 in the last almost decade, almost. Wow.
I mean,
yeah. Nate says 10-2 probably gets the New Year's 6 as Tulane will drop a few. Dennis has Go Broncos 10-2.
Well, they'd have to be 11-2 in that format too. You know, you got to
regular season maybe before
have to win your league to even be eligible for the New Year's 6 game.
Bill says they'll beat San Diego State, but might lose on the road in Memphis. So we will see about that. There's been a lot of intrigue, Johnny. I know, maybe going down to UCF for the opener last year. Obviously, was 2 years ago. Was obviously a big opener, a big time, exciting game. They've had some of these big openers, but going up to Washington, and then usually you have the cupcake in week 2 to follow it back up with the home opener against UCF. I can't remember a 2-week stretch, man, that has people as excited as this one does.
Yeah, most teams who schedule these games, they don't care about the wins and losses. They need to pay their debts off in their athletic department, right? I mean, this is like what we see FCS teams doing, BJ, the first 2 weeks. Like, hey, well, hopefully we win. Yeah, sure. We hope we win every game here, but these are like paycheck games. A lot of times you won't see upper level group of 5 teams do this to themselves in the non-conference because they do want to be playing in one of those big bowl games at the end of the year. Now, obviously, if they lose 3 of their first 4, I think, BJ, if that would be what? Would it be, or their first 5? I guess I'm saying. I think
the one weird kind of conference game thrown in there, but
if they're 2-3 after 5 games, BJ, fans aren't talking New Year's 6 in this town. You're not. Prater and myself, we aren't. We're not sitting here still saying, hell, at that point, Pete Cavender isn't even bringing it up anymore. Mr. New Year's 6 potential. Pete Cavender will sell us on the New Year's 6 when they're 3-3. I love my boy Pete, right? But that's not going to be happening if they're 2-3, BJ. They're going to say, okay, win the league. That's great. Get to the SoFi Bowl. Play someone in the Pac-12, I guess, and let's see if we can do. I mean, they do need to win this league this year. But last year in this setup for the CFP, it would be nice to see Boise State contend for that thing. And, they got there the first year of the CFP era. This is kind of the final year of the CFP era, BJ. If Boise State can kind of bookend that with trips to the New Year's 6, that'd be fun for this town. It's just been too damn long. What type of a program is this? What type of realistic expectations can this fan base have? I know I still look at this fan base, and I think they realistically expect to be playing in the New Year's 6 every single year. I like that they have that mentality, but it's just been too darn long since they haven't been there. At some point, the program's going to have to let, somebody, it's a great line somebody said once, don't let your, what's the term? Don't let your mouth write a check that your butt can't cash, and for me, like for Boise State right now, don't let your mouth write a check that your program can't cash. You're going to be talking all this New Year's 6 stuff. That's great. Let's challenge for a New Year's spot again this year. Let's see if they can do that, BJ. I think if they can get out of that non-con unfazed a little bit, they'll put themselves in a good position.
Hey, we mentioned Talon Green. I want to remind folks, Johnny, this Sunday, 12 o'clock, you can meet Talon Green. He'll be at Lean Feast in Meridian, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Check him out online. Meal prep service, awesome spot for lunch. You can go get one meal and have it right away, or you can go get 5 or 10, put it in the microwave. They're good for up to 5 days. But on Sunday, this Sunday, 12 to 2, Talon Green will be there on an NIL deal, signing autographs, taking pictures. And Johnny, he'll even be back there behind the counter making some meals. So it's going to be fun. You can meet Talon Green this Sunday. Tell him you heard about it. leanfeast.com/Meridian. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations in the state of Idaho. Check them out. Go download the Ridley's app, find the location near you. Shop Ridley's.com. You need business insurance? I got the folks for you. United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They make business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. So make sure you check them out at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. You need a job? How about getting into the trucking industry? Transportation compliance service. They can help you with all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. And I'm talking the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, big rig on your screen, everything in between. Make sure you check out transportation compliance service. If you need a dentist, How about Boise Dentistry Co.? Dr. Miner and his staff do a tremendous job, and full family dentistry. They make it an enjoyable experience for the whole family to go to the dentist. 5 Treasure Valley locations. Check them out, 906-1255 or BoiseDentistryCo.com. Johnny, we made the announcement at the beginning of the show in case folks were late, and as we wrap up the show here, BNN is headed to Canada, so we're looking forward to that. And again, live pre- and post-game coverage from all Boise State's games in Canada. We'll have more details on this and some cool things as we move forward. But thanks again, RBC Wealth Management, Atkinson's Mirror and Glass, and Bauscher Real Estate for making that possible, Johnny. BNN heading to Canada. Excited for that. Excited for this week. And it's going to be kind of a long week, I think, Johnny, as we get ready for media days next week. Hopefully it'll go quick. I think you're going to join us at least one more time this week. Congratulations to Jay and Camille Tust. Brooks, Jay Christopher Tust. Pretty cool. 9 pounds, 9 ounces, 21 inches. Very excited for the Tust family. And the baby and mom are both at home and doing well. So congratulations. And again, it's going to be awesome news. And you'll be filling in, I think, one more day this week, at least for Jay. And
Absolutely.
Congratulations to the Tust family. So thanks again, Johnny. Thanks again, everybody, for checking us out. Sorry for the late start. You can go back and rewatch the show at Bronco Nation News YouTube channel if you got on there late. But have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.